So Rarity Collection 2 was fully spoiled today, probably yesterday by the time you're watching this video, and so far the sentiment in the Yu-Gi-Oh community seems pretty negative. While I'm not getting the sense that people absolutely hate this set, the word mid has been constantly thrown around, especially on social media, and generally people seem to think that the set is, well, just sort of average to good, but not quite mind-blowing like the first Rarity collection. Considering this set was made as a direct sequel to that one, based solely off of its absolutely insane levels of success, I think it's pretty fair to have had high expectations for RC2, and a lot of people like myself are quite disappointed by the notable absences. Before we get into what's not inside, I think that it is fair to give a full rundown of what you can get out of Rarity Collection 2 for those who are unaware. Maybe you didn't see the videos yesterday, or you just, I don't know, you've been living under a rock for the past 48 hours. We knew that Konami was going to be doing a second run of the hand traps, very similar to what they did in Rarity Collection 1. This time around, you can pull Skullmeister, Fantastical Dragon Phantasme. That card is found in here in both of its arts. Droll and Lockbird is also in this set in both of its arts. We've got DD Crow, Ghost Ogre, and Snow Rabbit. That one is exclusively in its alternate art. And then finally, Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill in its original art. Konami included a bunch of popular slash, meta cards that are for the main deck. Some might call these staples, such as Polymerization, Mind Control, Forbidden Lance, Foolish Burial, Gold Sarcophagus, Cosmic Cyclone, Pot of Duality, Crossout Designator, Emergency Teleport, Enemy Controller, Book of Moon, and Book of Eclipse. A lot of those cards see meta play right now in this specific format, but if not, they've seen, kind of varying levels of play over the past couple of years or so. For more specialty picks, it seems like Konami has kind of focused on very specific themes for this set, and those themes are branded, purely, Blue Eyes, which is actually going to be getting a new structure deck that literally just got announced in the OCG. I will make a video in a couple of days talking about that. Exo Sister has a few cards in here as well, and then this is not necessarily an archetype, but it is kind of like a theme, or well, really just a storyline. But all the Visa planets, which Konami had announced a while back, all the Visa planets are in here as well. So you have your Cash Planet, Tier Planet, Vanadium Planet, and then also your what's the one I'm forgetting, your Scareclaw Planet. There's a small trap lineup in this set, which includes the Solemn Brigade, so that's like Solemn Judgment, Solemn Warning, and Solemn Strike. You get Skill Drain and Anti-Spell Fragrance. Skill Drain obviously being the card that I want most in this entire set. And then finally, you move to the extra deck, and I think that the extra deck pick is, or the extra deck monsters are pretty solid, and it does include a few cards in here that only have a couple of printings, like Exo Sister, Magnifica, Garura, Guardian Chimera, Unchained Solar Rage, as well as some of the more kind of generic extra deck monsters. People might be inclined to call these ones your quote-unquote staples, like IP Masquerena, Access Code Talker, Appaloosa Boa the Goddess. These are cards that you'll see in like half a dozen decks in the metagame. When you look at the set as a whole, there's a ton of cards to get excited about, especially if you want to take cards that you're already playing right now, maybe like IP Masquerena, Cosmic Cyclone, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, or Access Code Talker, and you just want to rank those cards up into a higher rarity like QCR. Or maybe you just want to mess around with some niche decks like Unchained, Exo Sister, Pearly, or Branded, where maybe you wanted to play those decks for a while, but there's always been a few select cards that you needed, and those cards were kind of pricey, and you just didn't want to make that investment into something that you were just looking to play competitively at locals. There is a lot of good cards in here, and I think that there is a lot of value when you really look at it. With that being said, and all the positives out of the way, there are two glaring flaws that I see with this set, and they're outside of just the cards that they miss. Now keep in mind, this is just my personal opinion, so you don't have to see things the way that I see them. You don't have to agree, or you can just take it with a grain of salt. But number one is going to be the absolute obsession with all the alternate arts. Now some people might say, oh come on Cap G, can you really talk? And yes, I love alternate arts as much as the next guy, and the reason that I say that maybe I'm not the best person to bring this up is because I have dozens millions of copies of Eldritch the Golden Lord from the original Rarity collection. I mean, I have them in basically every Rarity. I've got both of the artworks, etc., etc. I've got pages of them in my binder, but that was just a one-off in the original Rarity collection. It wasn't like Eldritch was taking up all this space. So if you were someone who wasn't really interested in Eldritch as, you know, a card or as an archetype or whatever, you could be only so mad because it's like, well, he only took up 2 spots. But this time around, I feel like Konami just got a little outside themselves. Droll and Lockbird, Fantastical Dragon, Phantasme, heck, even Rescue Cat all have both of their arts in this set. And to me, that is just a little bit of a wasted opportunity. It's kind of a wasted space to essentially have 2 cards taking up 6 slots, and you could have obviously fit in other in-demand cards. Other cards that people wanted could have filled those 3 spots up. My second issue here, and I think that some people might not agree with this one either, but Rarity Collection 2 feels weirdly Edison format focused. I mean, maybe it's just my imagination, but when I see cards like Super Nimble Mega Hamster, Mystical Space Typhoon, Raikou, the Lightsworn Hunter, which I don't think any of the new Lightsworn builds are running Raikou. Like, nobody's running, you know, a flip monster that has to be set face down for a turn in 2024. Like, people aren't running that card. You look at a lot of the Solemn cards that they put in here, like Solemn Judgment, Solemn Warning, Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. I see all these cards and they stick out like sore thumbs. I'm thinking, like, is this an Edison pack or what exactly are we doing here? And it especially becomes a little weird because I look at this and I'm like, okay, did we really need Mystical Space Typhoon if we already have Cosmic Cyclone in here when just about all 2024 decks, you know, all modern Yu-Gi-Oh decks for the most part are going to run Cosmic Cyclone over an old card like MST. So it just doesn't make sense to have them both in the same set. If Konami is going to take this opportunity to upgrade some of these old cards, okay, at least I kind of understand it from that perspective, but it just struck me as a little odd. Like, I saw it and I was like, okay, are we doing new age cards? We doing old age cards? Now, some of you guys might say that you're nitpicking, and you know, that's fair. I just feel like if Konami would have adjusted maybe 6 or 7 slots in this set, and maybe put some banger cards in there, I feel like they would be getting almost no criticism right now because, you know, even when you disregard some of the things that I've said, look at something like Soul and Luna. Why is that in there? Like, who is even playing that? Like, who is that for? Why is that taking up a slot in this set? There are some noticeable absent cards that I really wish were in here, just to throw a few out, like Triple Tactics Thurs, Chaos Angel, Diviner of the Herald, Aroma's Jasmine, Thunder Dragon Colossus, which, you know, that just got unbanned, so people are looking to pick that up, Super Polymerization, Kashtira Fenrir, and oh yeah, let's not forget Trident Dragon, which is incredibly popular right now, and I don't know about you guys, but I don't have any friends who I can borrow one from. And by the way, none of the cards that I just mentioned, none of those are new cards per se. Like, those are not cards that Konami is still selling an active pack and they're making a bunch of money on. So there's really no reason not to reprint any of those cards. And oh, by the way, if we were gonna go, you know, knee deep into like Edison formats, can we get maybe a Thunder King Ryo or a Light and Darkness Dragon? Those would have been really good reprints. All in all, I personally think that the set is good. I just think that you know, maybe the expectations, especially with Konami putting out a presser saying, hey guys, you know, Rarity Collection 1 was so insane, we're gonna make a Rarity Collection 2 as a sequel, that being something that they really hadn't done before, or at least not in a very long time. I think people's expectations were that it was going to be another legendary set, and I feel like it's just a good set, which, you know, there's going to be some disappointment. Are there things in here that I want? Of course, I want some QCR hand traps like Mourner and Ghost Ogre. Probably want to get a QCR Abyss Dweller because that just seems like a card that will eventually rotate back into the format and be absolutely crazy. You look at the past couple of years against Tier, Unchained, you know, Abyss Dweller was absolutely insane. And then I absolutely need to get some QCR skill drains. I want a playset of that. But you guys let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about Rarity Collection 2? Did it live up to your expectations now that you know the full spoiler, why or why not? And of course, what are you looking to get out of this set? Also, is there a card in here that, or is there something that you 100% think should have been in this set? And what card did you want to see in this set but wasn't? I would say that Trident Dragon 100% should have been in this set. And then personally, I was really hoping Super Polymerization would have been in here because I wanted to get some QCR Super Polys, but you know, alas, it was not. Anyways, thank you guys for watching as always, and subscribe if you have not already.